Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. Here's the reality: leadership is not about just vision or strategy. I think we all know that. I think it's about courage. I think it's especially about being able to have hard conversations. I think leadership is a lot of hard conversations over and over and over again. When I say hard conversations, I'm talking about the kind that keep you up at night. The ones where you have to tell someone they're underperforming or that some major change is coming. Well, today I want to give you what I believe to be a pretty simple tool, one that I've used myself and I've coached others through. And I think this tool will help you say what needs to be said without burning the bridge. It's called the BRAVE framework, BRAVE. It's an acronym. And to make it stick, I'm going to walk you through this BRAVE framework using a real business example today. Okay. So picture this. You've got an operations leader within your business or on your team. This person's smart. This person's loyal. Person's been with you for a while. But in the last 6 months, things have kind of slipped. Maybe projects are a bit late. Communication just seems kind of wonky. It's off. Team members you see are getting a bit frustrated. So you know that something has to change. But this particular person means a lot to the company. So how do you address this scenario without crushing morale? I think that's where this BRAVE framework, BRAVE, comes in. So the B starts with begin with context. Begin with context. Start by setting the emotional and strategic tone. And you do this without launching straight into the problem. So for example, maybe you want to say, hey, I wanted to check in on something that's been on my mind. As we've grown and taken on more complexity, it's really important that our operations function keeps pace. I value the role that you play here, and I know you care deeply about this business too. Now I'm going to break script. This sets the stage with respect and with context, and not with confrontation. So we're going to start with context. Begin with context. Next, we're going to go to R in BRAVE. R stands for reveal the issue. Now you name the issue clearly, calmly, and ideally without sugarcoating it. So in this particular case, maybe it's something like, over the past few months, I've noticed a few things slipping. Deadlines have been getting missed. There's unclear expectations with the team and some breakdowns in communication across different departments. It's not about just one mistake. It's about a pattern that's affecting how the team operates. Now I'm going to end script. You're not attacking the person when you're revealing the issue there. You're just naming the behavior. So remember, you're naming the issue clearly, calmly, and without sugarcoating. You're not attacking the person. You're just naming the behavior. Now the A in BRAVE. A is acknowledge the impact. Next, you want to bring in why it matters. This is the why it matters piece, the impact on people, the impact on performance, or just the impact on the business at large. So it might sound something like, what's happening downstream is that teams and team members are confused, they're frustrated, and they're just not aligned. It's starting to show up in missed targets and morale. And I know that's not what you want either. End script. Now this is key. You're aligning their intent with your concern. So it builds trust even in hard moments. You're aligning their intent with your concern. Now the V stands for voice the solution. I think this is where a lot of leaders freeze up. They name the problem, but they don't offer a path forward. So maybe you give this person something to work with, something like, here's what I think we should do. I'd like to realign on your top priorities for the next 90 days. simplify the reporting structure, and set up weekly one-on-ones so we're locked in. I'm also open to any support you need, training, tools, resources, staffing, whatever it may be, and script. So you don't just critique here, you coach. You're giving them an actionable path and not just a slap on the wrist. You're voicing the solution. You want to name the problem, but don't offer a path forward. That's sometimes what happens is that people name the problem, but they don't give a path forward. I want you to give them something to work with. And then lastly, E, this stands for end with commitment. Now you bring it back to shared goals and your commitment to them. It sounds something like, you've been a core part of this business. I want to see you win here. I'm committed to helping you succeed. And I believe this is maybe a turning point, not an ending for us. Let's check in weekly to make sure we're both seeing progress. I think that's how you end with strength and with some clarity. Now let's zoom out, okay? The BRAVE framework works because it gives your conversation structure. More importantly, it works because it builds a bridge rather than burns one. I think too often we enter these challenging conversations without a framework in mind. And as a result, we only get about halfway where we need to get, or we show up with more emotion than the conversation requires. Here's the big idea here. Hard conversations don't have to damage relationships. When they're done right, they actually deepen trust. Why is that? Because I think people respect clarity. They want to know where they stand. And as a leader, your job isn't to avoid discomfort. It's to lean into discomfort with courage and with clarity. That's BRAVE. That's the BRAVE framework. So if you've been avoiding a conversation, I want you to use BRAVE. One more time. B stands for begin with context. R, reveal the issue. A, acknowledge the impact. V, voice the solution. E, end with commitment. So if you've been avoiding a conversation, I want you to use BRAVE. Re-listen to this episode a couple times. Write out the steps. Rehearse it if you need to. The cost of silence, in my opinion, and my experience, is usually higher than the cost of speaking up. So I want to challenge you this week, if in fact you have to have a difficult conversation, to have that conversation. I also want to challenge you to share this framework with others, teach it to others. There's no better way for you to deepen your understanding of the BRAVE framework to share it and teach it to others. We're all navigating through tough stuff, but we don't have to do it alone. That's all I have for you today, the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.